I'm in a long-distance relationship. If this sounds like an AA introduction, it kind of is because I spent the first month of school in denial, and then I decided to figure out how to deal with it. So, what's a long-distance relationship? This can mean that either you're geographically separated from your significant other, or you're in an MBA program, because that really creates distance as well. So, using this new definition, how many of you are in a long-distance relationship? Awesome. Okay, so keeping in that audience participation, how many of you have heard of Black Monday? Yes. So this had me with like a lot of anxiety. I was really worried about it. And Black Monday is basically a really bad tradition in MBA culture where you come back from either Thanksgiving break, spring break, Christmas break, whatever break it may be, and you have broken up. You're no longer with your significant other, and you are forced to move on to other options. So I looked into, Salesforce.com for long-distance relationships, but unfortunately that didn't exist yet. So I had to compile my own tools to help deal with the distance. And I found a few different best practices, and hopefully you guys can gain something from that. The first one is to have boundaries. It's really important that you and your significant other are on the same page as far as what's acceptable and what's not. Maybe coffee dates are okay, but getting drinks is not okay. Maybe it's okay to actually kiss other people. Whatever it is, just make sure that you guys both know what's okay so that you don't have any confusion and you don't have any issues coming down the line. So next I would say it's really important to visit as frequently as possible. You want to take advantage of Southwest Airlines, Kayak, Airfare Watchdog, all of those things to make sure that you guys are getting that face-to-face contact. We used to see each other every 2 weeks, which is kind of excessive, but just figure out what works for you and see each other as frequently as possible. Next, if you can think back to when you first moved into MPP, you've met all these great people, you just joined the real world Chicago booth cast. You want to make sure that you're introducing your significant other to that new cast in your life as early as possible because they're likely going to feel kind of disconnected to what's going on in your life, and you want to keep them in tune with all of your new friends so that they can, be included as well. So the next thing that you can do is share your calendar. This has changed my world. So instead of my boyfriend saying, oh, I texted you and you didn't respond for 5 hours, he can actually go look at my calendar and say, oh, that's why. He really knows that how busy my schedule will be, and we don't have issues with that anymore. So the next one is you can actually block out time and send meeting requests, right? So it sounds a little excessive, kind of heavy-handed, but it works. So if you want to make sure that you're giving your significant other the time they deserve, just set a meeting request. Next, I would say communicate. That doesn't just mean talking on the phone, but actually make sure that you're talking about significant things, not just, oh, this is how the weather is in Chicago, or this is what I did today. Actually talk about meaningful topics that can make sure that you're keeping your connection. I like to use Skype and Google Hangout. That really helps because on Google Hangout, you can actually watch movies at the same time. And it's really helpful because you can get the sense of being in the same place without actually physically being in the same place. Which brings us to doing things together. We both love White Collar. We're really excited that the new season is coming. So you can just tune into the same TV station and watch the same show at the same time. So you get that kind of the facilitation of doing something together. You can also play games. Word with Friends kind of gets ugly because he likes to use fake words, but you can go to pogo.com or Yahoo and they have other options to do that as well. So, let's just see. After all of that, you have a lot of tools now. I'm sure you guys have found some best practices, but you may still mess up from time to time. It's going to happen. It's just a part of life. So you really have to learn how to apologize. It's really important that you learn how to say, I'm sorry. And I became an expert on this last quarter because I did a pretty bad job of managing the whole thing. But now I'm an expert on apologizing, and it has really helped a lot. So we all have a lot of different tools now. So if you guys see me in the hallways, and you have anything you want to share, just reach out to me, tell me other things that work. Hopefully, all of you guys who raise your hand and are in long-distance relationships can use some of these tools to go on and beat Black Monday. And let's all stay together and enjoy your relationships. And once you make it through, invite me to your wedding. Thanks.